Hey everyone, Lumi here. I hope you all are well. Welcome back, or if you're new here, welcome. Today is Saturday, almost Sunday. I'm recording this as I take a walk around my neighborhood. It is 11:44 at night, and don't really have much planned for this one. Just going to talk about sort of what I did today and just give you guys a life update. So, woke up somewhat early today. I went with both my mom and my sister to CarMax, and if you guys have been watching my other videos, you know that we've been trying to sell my sister's car because she's trying to get a new one, and it's been such a hassle. So she's got like this weird setup, and like I didn't even know you could do this, but apparently you can. Like if you have a lease, some banks will actually let you sell the car, and basically like they collect the majority of the money for the car, and then you get like whatever's left over. And my sister, she got like a pretty good deal from CarMax. Like they offered her like $22,000, and I think the value of the car that like would be owed to the dealership was like $18,000, so she'd get $4,000 because it's got low mileage, it's in great shape, all that stuff. So we went today, and apparently they couldn't do it because the bank that she's with that has the lease wasn't open because it's the weekend, and no one knew that. So we went all the way out. It's like CarMax is kind of out of the way. Like it's a 35-minute drive from our place, so it was a bit of a drive, and we did all that for nothing. Like even the guy was upset. He was like, because they want to make these deals go through. They get money, they get a car. They get a car and then they make money on the car later because they're trying to. Basically, what CarMax does is like they flip cars. I've never had an issue with CarMax. They're pretty fair. The only times I've used them were when I got the car before the one I have now, when I got that appraised. They gave me a really fair deal. And then when they appraised my sister's, which I thought was very fair for like a 6-year-old car, I want to say. But, we drove all the way out there for nothing. And I was like, well, I drove my car here because we thought we would, have to drive back in mine, because obviously we would leave the car there if we sold it. But that didn't work, so both my mom and my sister went back to the house, and I was like, well, screw this. I'm gonna go work on I brought my iPad because I do my thumbnails for the YouTube channel on my iPad, and I'm behind on like 4 or 5 videos, or I was behind. I caught up today. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go to the mall. I'm gonna get lunch at the mall and bring my iPad, work on the art. And so that's what I did. I went to the mall. I went to the food court. It was a pretty small food court. But they had some pretty nice options. One of them was like a healthy food, I guess food stand or whatever you call it. They're not really restaurants, they're just like, it's a food court, it's just like a restaurant in the wall basically, and they give you your food. So I got a chicken wrap. It's pretty good. And then afterwards, I went to Starbucks. There was like a little Starbucks kiosk, and I got a nice coffee, and then I just worked on my art. And there was like this older gentleman in front of me in line, but I got my drink before him, and there weren't like any other seats, but the table I sat at had like one extra seat. So he just like comes over and like sits down with me. He doesn't even ask if he could. He just did. I was just like, all right, man, you do you. I mean, I don't really care. Like, I honestly prefer if he just like kept to himself, which he did. But I don't know. It was just kind of funny. But yeah, I got a lot of work done there, and then the coffee kind of like didn't agree with me, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go home. And got back home. I worked on my art or the thumbnails for like, basically it took me like 2 more hours, I think. Like, I worked on it until sundown. But no, I'm glad I got that done, out of the way. And then, I had dinner, and I don't know if I've mentioned this, but I've been playing The Last of Us 2 on my PlayStation. I have a PS4, and I think The Last of Us 2 was the last game I got for the PlayStation 4. And I don't really use it as much anymore. I don't use it at all, except for playing The Last of Us. And, because I switched to PC. And man, that game is heavy. It's probably the most violent game. It's like the most violent and graphic game I've ever played. But it's got a phenomenal story. I don't want to spoil anything in case any of you are planning on playing it or watching the show, because if you're not familiar, they actually made an HBO series for The Last of Us, and the first season was really good. They pretty much kept it like a 1-for-1, so meaning like they didn't really stray far from the original story. Like, the show is like shot pretty much exactly like the game. Like, it feels like you're watching the game almost. And which is amazing, because most like TV or movie adaptations of video games, they're notoriously bad. Like, it's almost comical at this point. Like, most movie and TV adaptations of games are just always bad. Like, my expectations are always so low whenever I see them do this kind of thing. But to my surprise, they did a very good job with The Last of Us. But anyway, yeah, I think I started playing The Last of Us 2 over like 2 or 3 years ago, because I played the first one with my mom, And like she just like happened to walk in one day and like she watched me play it on the PlayStation 3, like way back when. And she was like captivated by it, you know. I mean, it's a good game. So she wanted to watch me play the second one, so I like reserved it, you know, to play with her. And yeah, we've been like playing it on and off for like over 2-3 years now. But finally I beat it tonight. And wow, I'm so glad I finished it because it is such a good game. If I remember correctly, the game was received terribly at first. Like, a lot of people didn't like it. A lot of people had issues with what they did to the main character of the first game. And I think people were like angry that it had like DEI or whatever in it. And you know, the like original diehard fans were all like upset, I think, that there were so many changes. But it's a good story. I mean, you can't say it's like a bad story, because if you do, I think you're kind of missing the point, or you're being kind of or you're letting like the critics and like the I guess the community speak for you, or like come to conclusions for you. I'm so glad I like refrained from looking up anything about the game, so that like I could go in without any expectations, completely fresh, you know. And I was able to keep that up until today, basically. But yeah, it's a shame that so many people like, I don't know, badmouth the game when it first came out. But I think it also kind of like had the opposite effect. I think it drew more attention to the game because so many people were talking about it. And like the first opening scenes are like, it's really shocking. Like there's a lot of shock value. The whole game is kind of like a shock value. Because you really see these characters develop, you know, in realistic and real ways, considering their circumstances and like the setting that they're in. I mean, it's like basically the zombie apocalypse, you know. So life is gonna be rough. But yeah, the overall, well, I'm not gonna say anything. I don't want to spoil it for you guys. But I will say, if you haven't played it, go out and play it, because it is a classic. But yeah. Anyway, that's weird. I keep hearing birds at night. It's very strange. I think they're mockingbirds. But yeah, this is like the second time I've gone out for a night walk and I've heard birds. But anyway. Oh, another thing is, I looked up on Reddit like what people's thoughts were about the ending. And oh my god, so many people had like, I think, just like an overreaction, or like they interpreted it like pretty wrong, or just like they're looking at it at like in a different light. And it's just like, damn, it's like you're kind of missing the point. But anyway, I'll shut up about it. But yeah, that was my day. Hope you all had a good day today too. I don't know when you'll listen to this, but I'll probably be on my my vacation. I'm going out of town for a couple weeks coming up soon. I've been recording and making videos like nonstop, trying to like schedule them out and get ahead, so you guys don't don't like randomly not hear from me for a while. But yeah, anyway, I am almost back home. Hope you enjoyed. Hope I could talk you to sleep. If you are about to go to bed, I hope you sleep well. Hope you have good dreams. And like always, if you enjoyed the video, drop me a like, give me a thumbs up. If you dislike it. Let me know in the comments what you think, or if there's anything you want me to cover next. Have you ever played The Last of Us? What are your thoughts on it? Did you like The Last of Us 2? And consider subscribing if you enjoy this sort of thing. But anyway, I'll catch you all later. See ya.